Well, hi there, everybody. Good morning to meteorologist Travis Kleneski on this Wednesday morning. It is hump day, and it is the peak of this warmth today. It's going to come down after today a little bit, so it kind of matches here for the middle of the week. But we have a little patchy fog this morning. The worst of it is over northeast Nebraska. Outside of that, it should quickly burn off. We'll see plenty of sunshine today. Enjoy it. It's going to be a very mild day everywhere, even for northeastern areas. Tonight, a little bit of an increase in clouds from the southwest northern areas. We're going to have to watch these low clouds. If these do sneak in, this is something that could really hold temperatures down tomorrow. And look at it backing into our area. The thicker these clouds, the cooler you're going to be tomorrow. These areas will see more in the way of partly sunny skies. I'm a little iffy on moisture. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of moisture Thursday or even Thursday night. Probably a lot of this is going to be virga. That's that rain that evaporates before reaching the surface. You see those streaks up in the sky by the clouds. That's probably what we'll see more of tomorrow. Even tomorrow night, I'm not expecting much moisture. Clouds filling in, though, ahead of our approaching system that's going to move in later in the day on Friday. But again, I'm a little iffy on this moisture right here. I just don't see it. Most models don't have it. We'll probably be waiting until later in the day Friday for better chances of moisture. In fact, taking a look at the long-range forecast models, we're going to jump right ahead. Here's the NAM, North American model. Let's stop it right about there. Well, we'll go to Friday morning. There we go. So again, maybe a little bit, but I think we're more likely to see the moisture get going late Friday and into Friday night. And notice this is mostly going to be rain. Yes, there could be a little bit of a mix out west, but this will predominantly be a rain forecast for the weekend. Now, this model only goes through Saturday morning, so we'll jump ahead now to the European model. This one has been the most aggressive with the rainfall and how heavy it could be. So let's go to Friday night, 7 p.m. You can see the rain's just kind of getting going here late Friday into Friday evening. Becomes more widespread as we go into your Saturday. That rain really picks up here, and it's that arc of rain where the heaviest rain could be, those deeper green shades. There might be a little bit of lightning and thunder down in Kansas. I don't think we'll see a whole lot with this, though. Most of the snow stays to our west. Saturday night into Sunday morning, it's still rain, and then it gradually starts to push to the southwest. So the farther southwest you go, the longer this rain could last on Sunday and maybe even into Sunday night. After that, it's pretty quiet weather for early next week, and then maybe turns a little more active later in your week next week, where we could see some more moisture return down the road. Let's look at the GFS model now. And again, not much the next couple of days. We'll be looking at that next chance on Friday. So this is Friday evening. We'll back it up just a little bit here. Not much Friday afternoon, but more so Friday evening, and then that rain becomes more widespread into Saturday morning. Pretty good rain Saturday. And even into early Sunday, we could still see a pretty good chance of some rain now. It's starting to clear out to the northeast, and so the farther southwest you go, the longer it lasts. But this model, the GFS model, does keep the rain around a little bit longer than the European model does. So I have officially kept rain in my forecast all the way through midnight Sunday night. After that, quiet weather Monday, Tuesday, and then maybe a little more active later in the week, Wednesday, Thursday, beyond. We'll see how that plays out. Not going to get too aggressive on that part of the forecast right now. So a couple of things you'll see here. First off, we're going to look at the 8 to 10 day or 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, which starts next Wednesday. So at the end of that forecast period, we may see some more wet weather down the road late next week into early the following week, leading up to just before Valentine's Day. So kind of a wet weather pattern for the first half of February is kind of shaping up. What about temperatures? Well, let's look at the 7-day forecast. Actually, before we even get to the 7-day forecast, let's look at the forecast for the area around the area today. Today will be the warmest day. Highs even in the northeast into the 50s, but with snowpack still staying in the 50s, not 60s like most of us will see, including, I think we're going to see some upper 60s today in some spots. Certainly a possibility. Tonight we'll dip back into the upper 20s and 30s for overnight lows. Tomorrow cooler, but still mild. The coolest spots where the thickest clouds will be up here in the 40s and maybe even upper 30s, but most of us get into the 50s and lower 60s. Tomorrow night, upper 20s, 30s, and lower 40s for lows. With the clouds moving in, temperatures not dropping off too much. And then Friday, kind of a coolish day, a blend of 40s and 50s, but again, mild for this time of the year, even despite clouds around. And we'll see that continue through the weekend. Temperatures will mostly be a blend of 40s and 50s right through the upcoming weekend, as you'll see here, even despite rain moving in. So it will be all rain. You'll notice the highs are well above freezing, even the lows are above freezing. So there's no concern about any snow, sleet, or ice. This will be all rain. But could be a pretty good soaking. Saturday and Saturday night is going to be a washout. It's going to be a wet time frame. But even part of our Sunday could be wet, especially the farther southwest you go. From there, dry weather Monday and Tuesday, and highs back around 50 degrees. You look long range. No cold air anytime soon. We're going to stay on the milder side of things. Highs between the mid-40s and the mid-50s most of those days after today. So today's the best day, but even down the road doesn't look too bad. In fact, long range, 8 to 14 day outlook, it's looking like we're going to stay above average. According to the Climate Prediction Center, all the cold air remains out west. We'll stay well above average for this time of the year, more than likely. In fact, let's look at the long-range temperature profile here. Again, the mildest weather's today. And while it does cool back the end of this week and the weekend, it's not cold. It's just the clouds and the moisture keeping us a little cooler. And then next week, yeah, we're still mild. Nothing really brutally cold. That all stays up in Canada. That's good news. It looks like all the cold shots of air stay in Canada. They will not dive south. That's according to the European model. Let's look at the GFS. Again, today's the best weather. It cools off a little bit at the end of the week and the weekend, just with the clouds and the moisture, but not cold. Even next week, well, yeah, we're a little cooler. We're still decently mild. None of the cold air up north is going to come south. We don't have to deal with any Arctic air through the first third of the month of February, and maybe even beyond that. So the good news is we won't have to deal with Arctic air. The one thing we'll have to watch for, and again, is that moisture this weekend here. There is a bit of a flooding concern. Let's look at a couple of long-range models, or the couple of the models when it comes to the weekend. This is the European model. This is the one that's most aggressive with rainfall. This one's pushing out easily for most of us a half inch of rain, and for many even over an inch of rain. And then you start talking over 2 inches of rain in the southeast, and that's where there becomes even more of a concern. Now, the GFS model is not as aggressive. I'm going to go into my editor mode, and I'm going to show you the GFS model real quick here, just so you, actually, I apologize. That was the GFS I showed you. Let's go to the European model. Now, I showed you the GFS. Let's show you the European model. If I can find it. There it is. All right, so here we go. Here's the European model. Also showing some pretty good rain. Not quite as heavy, though, as the GFS. And it's a little farther southwest with the higher amount. So notice there are still some placement issues when it comes to the forecast models and where exactly the highest rain amounts will be. So what can I tell you? Okay, so while I'm not expecting a repeat of 5 years ago, I am concerned that there could be some localized flooding, especially for those areas that do end up picking up over an inch of rainfall. A half of inch of rainfall we can probably handle, maybe even 3/4 of an inch. You start to get an inch or more, that's where there's more concern. The ground's still pretty hard, although top layer is thawing. That's good news. We've had a lot of snow melt recently, and you know the rivers are still frozen, and that ice is going to try to break apart, and we could see some potential ice jamming here for the rest of this week here. So there still is concern for flooding, especially in low-lying areas around local rivers and streams. So keep that in mind. Well, with that, I do need to let you all go for today. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Enjoy it. I will see you all again on Thursday with all the latest. Take care, and God bless. Bye.